You got the cheap ones. We have some, we have these that are going to be raffled, and all of you got a raffle ticket. About halfway through the program, we're going to be drawing, Jen's going to be drawing 2 numbers, and 2 of you will win the high-end version. Sorry, we're not giving out Oculus Rifts tonight. Maybe some other night. Okay, that's not what we're launching. Okay, so what are we talking about here? Strictly speaking, virtual reality is something generated by a computer, but there are 2 kinds of virtual reality. I don't have to explain to you that you put on special viewing devices, goggles or glasses, or your phone, and you can see things that you can't see normally with your eyes, such as computer-generated video game scenes. But also there's 360 immersion, which is film. And 360 or immersion film is going to be a new mode of storytelling, according to one of our panelists here, or all of them, I guess. And augmented reality is something different. Augmented reality requires real-time viewing. We're not going to do that tonight. What we're doing is virtual reality, both in the sense of computer-generated, for example, gaming scenes, and also 360 immersion of film. There is also UR, which is unreality. We're not going to be doing that tonight either. There are applications, I should say, that have nothing to do with creativity or scripted entertainment. How many of you have heard of SyncThink? SyncThink they've gotten patents and they've gotten FDA approval. They have a VR device to put on football players, for example, who have experienced a concussion. We don't know, we need to diagnose very quickly whether they have a concussion. And by playing a scene in these goggles, they can detect abnormal eye movement as an indicator of a concussion. So that's pretty cool. So it's not just about entertainment, it's not just about movies, there are some medical applications, there are lots of others, I won't go into that. So very quickly, I'm going to introduce our panelists, and then after the introductions, each one is going to do a short presentation. Alex, on our right there, is with a company called Alex Pearce Productions, who would have thought? And this is
very original.
And we want to thank him because you made these possible for our raffle.
We can auction them.
We should auction them. This is the Go 4D that we'll be drawing for later. And then there is Phil. Oh, wait, I have to tell you who Alex is. Alex is Alex is a producer with a lot of experience, a lot of awards in a wide array of entertainment pursuits. He's worked in film, he's worked in, I have to get my notes out here. There we go. Right now he's working for his own company, and one of the things, you have on your website, you have something called, you have a travel show in VR, and it's Tour Israel?
Yeah, that's correct.
How does that work? Is it on television? I mean, where do people get it?
Well, that particular series is called Cultural Exchange, and we are hosting specifically with a brand called Escape, who's actually based in the Bay Area. They only focus on travel content, and they also pay their content creators. But the main reason we chose them is that if you use their app, it works for iPhone and Android really well. I'm not going to talk about some of the other apps that are out there that are kind of buggy. And also, it doesn't allow you to stream. You have to download it. So you can only watch it in high quality or not watch it at all. So for us, for that project, it seemed to make sense.
Okay, and what's important about what Alex does is that his company specializes in making one-take movies or one-take videos. They will do stitching for you. They will do pre-production, post-production. A particularly tricky area of VR is distribution. He'll do the distribution. He'll bring an 800 terabyte drive to wherever you want with all of the data on it. And this company, Alex Pearce Productions, you can just find online at alexpearceproductions.com. All right, and he's going to be leading off our demonstration today. Seated next to him is Brooke Chapman, who fought Palo Alto to San Francisco traffic just to get here, and she used the commute lane illegally, I might add, to get here. But see that big thing on the right? That is her camera. And she teaches a course or workshops on how to use that camera, right? That is the Vault 1, and she'll be telling us about that.
Jaunt.
Why do I say Vault? It's the Jaunt 1. Where did Vault come from? All right, the Jaunt 1. And it is our biggest camera here today. And you have, I have to ask you this, on your advisory board for your company who makes this camera, you have Jared Leto, who's a Academy Award winner, and Brian Glazer, who's a movie producer. I'm going to ask you, what are movie producers and Academy Award winner with that camera?
I think there's a lot of interest from Hollywood folks just around the general buzzwords of VR, but there are several that are very into the new technology side of things and are very interested in the cinematic VR side.
Okay, well, she's going to give us a presentation of what they're working on, and principally it's this camera. Somebody here said that, in your opinion, I think it was Alex, or was it Andy, this is the best camera available for doing 360 right now?
Yes.
Of course you'd say that. Okay, and sitting next to her in the center is Jimmy Giliberti, who is part of our family at COM here. He has been in all sorts of mostly computer-related creative arts. He's worked as a programmer at the operating system level. He's worked for Sony. He's done jobs for, well, I'm not going to go through the whole list here, IBM, QThere Media, and so on, but he actually is responsible for some of the APIs that are now used by the graphics industry. He is here with something called, whoops, oh, I will introduce Phil first. You guys are out of order. Okay, I'll come back to Phil. Jimmy is director for sales for the Americas for this company that's called WorldViz. And WorldViz is, it doesn't just sell equipment, but it does things, it'll provide creative services for you if you're doing things in the world of VR or 360 immersion. And it has, there's an online TV show called KVSN. It's KSVN, Silicon Valley Network, and it's at KVSN.
Yeah, KSVN.TV.
Thank you. All right. And he has with him something called the Ricoh Theta. That's the Ricoh Theta. Anybody out here in the audience have one of these?
Nobody. Wonderful.
Nobody. Wonderful. He'll be giving us a demonstration of that too. That's one of the cameras that we'll actually be using tonight. Okay, Phil. Phil is closest to me here. Phil is the Oculus guy here with the Oculus equipment right now. Actually, Andy is kind of an Oculus guy too. So we put the two Oculus guys on this side, and it sounds like I'm saying you guys are in Oculus. No, these are the Oculus. So let's start with Phil. Phil is, used to be, or you're associated with the university here, right? And you're not teaching the course this summer, but
Probably will be.
you're involved in it. I know Alex on our far right there. He's going to be teaching the course that we told you about a little earlier.
Oh, I'll be teaching a different
Virtually.
But using virtual reality in a course.
one.
Right,
Absolutely.
yeah, okay, so both of these guys will be teaching here at the university, things that involve and use VR, what we're talking about tonight. But Phil has, his background is in animation. He's been working in the game industry for nearly a decade, and he's particularly interested in, I'll let him speak for himself later. If Phil were here, what he would tell you is, he's taught classes in virtual reality. The students have experimented in his classes with motion and gesture controls, including leap motion, which we'll find out about. And you are sort of experimenting. I don't know if you wanted to talk about this, but you think a lot has to be done in improving the controls for VR.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we'll maybe talk to you a little later during the discussion session about that. And then Andy is, here's, Andy, okay. Andy is in an interesting field of storytelling, scripted storytelling maybe, yeah, with using Oculus Rift, and the lab is called Oculus Stories.
Oculus Stories.
Oculus Stories, and this involves video, and it involves, I guess, feature films virtually with the Oculus Rift. Yeah,
It might be animated style feature films, computer-generated VR with story-driven content.
okay, story-driven, computer-generated VR with some video also, though, right?
Nope, it's all CG.
All CG. Okay, so you two guys are the CG guys here on the end. Okay, so we got a little feeling for who they are. We'll talk a little bit more about their interests and what they're doing during the demonstration portion of the program.